Welcome everyone, friends of Frisbee, folks watching at home, to this, the 2021 New Zealand Open and Women's Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe. I'm here in the booth
with Brooke McAlavey,
and we are here for the opening match on the first day of our wonderful tournament in beautiful Christchurch at Puna Sports Hub. We have first up in the women's division, Zodiac playing out of the light uniforms versus Spring Chickens playing out of the blue. You can see Zodiac on screen at the moment. So what are our conditions like, Brooke?
It's quite windy. It's currently 12 degrees and 15 kilometres per hour wind, but it is quite sunny, so it should end up being quite a nice day, I hope.
Absolutely. Now that wind is coming in a roughly easterly direction. So that's from the more sort of a crosswind from the near side of your screen to the far side of the screen. It's a little bit gusty. These are going to prove some challenging conditions. We've had tournaments here at Puna before where the wind has definitely had an impact on the quality of Frisbee. But Zodiac's on screen now. So we've got Shelby Harhoff and Alice Logan as our captains. De Ruyter, Ford, Au, Zoe, Jurju, Parker, Bayer, Yu, Silva, Spiker, Slogrove, Duffy. Shout out to Duffy's mum, Kim, Lee, Robinson, Mace, Venter, the twin Chandrans, Tai and Ing.
So right now you can see the Spring Chickens on the board. We've got our two captains, Penny Macaulay, Scott, and then we've got Brown, Kessons, Linky, Tan, Lightbourne, Cooper, Diekma, Stolp, Gibson, Bedford and Watson. Hill, Captain, Waysbrod, Landreth, LaRue, Holdaway, Keane, O'Neill, Scarlett, Hunsberger, Fraser, Orwin,
and Rachel Siahani Royal, who some of you may remember joined us in the commentary booth for Division 2 last year. Spring Chickens have informed us that they have a very, very large roster, but they have a few absences for this first game on our Friday morning. But as the name suggests, they are in fact Spring Chickens. They have a lot of youth. Absolutely do. So we're seeing a lot of their players come from that Masters space, so in the 30 and above age bracket. But they are here to bring down a phenomenal performance against Auckland Zodiac. Auckland Zodiac, quite a young team. A lot of new talent, a lot of skill development there. Spring Chickens here to send a message that experience need not fear the strength of youth. All right, so we are only moments away from the start of our game. We've got 7 on the line already from Zodiac. We've got some, a little bit of warming up on the sideline still. We're seeing the first 7 players from Spring Chickens to take the field. Spring Chickens with the disc, so they will initiate with a pull one long throw down the field to start things off. They will be coming down on defense, targeting the left-hand end zone on the left-hand side of your screen when you take our wide footage. How excited are you for this matchup, Brooke?
I'm very excited. I'm quite new to Frisbee, so I'm quite excited to see some skills. As we, before, Blair and I were practicing on the field, cannot even throw the Frisbee in a straight line. So I think anything at this point is very impressive to me. Can't wait to see what there is to be happening today.
Perfect. So Zodiac to initiate their offense there. Nice recenter disc kept alive just above the grass there. Looks like Spring Chickens are sending down a zone defense. So rather than necessarily targeting the specific matchups, they're looking to take away space to narrow those throwing channels for Zodiac, really force some tighter throws, which might give them an opportunity to generate a turnover. Zodiac have made pretty solid progress up the field there. Lots of fakes to try and shift that zone. Particularly in windy conditions like this, a zone defense can work incredibly well because of the two main ways to break through a zone. You can either work around it or go over it. And if you try and go over it, the wind will pick up that disc, and anything less than perfection will be punished. And that is exactly what a zone defense is looking to do, to try and force throws sort of into the wind in this particular case, and that generated a turn for Spring Chicken. So a great first point for both of these teams. Zodiac making fantastic progress upfield. Spring Chickens with a great opportunity ahead of them. Megan Duffy applying huge pressure on that mark and generating a turn. Well done, Kim, you raised a star. Managing to chip through the center of that zone, sending a high forehand up, kept alive. Some great disc movement that we're seeing from Zodiac over the top of the zone now. Rachel Siahani Royal setting up on that mark. Great undercut there. Back towards the disc. Great clinical movement by Zodiac that we're seeing here, just chipping around that zone. 3, 4 people in that cup trying to set a really, really wide wall in front of the disc to force it towards that low sideline where the wind is pushing it on your far sideline. Zodiac unfazed, high over the top. This could be, yep, a little, again, as we've said before, that wind having that huge impact. When the disc goes high, the wind picks it up that much easier. As we sit up here where we are in the booth, you can feel the wind a lot more strongly than you can down on the ground level. I think that's something that a lot of Ultimate players struggle to remember. The higher the disc goes, the more wind you're going to feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Spring Chickens with a big forehand huck. Great read by the Zodiac defense. Lillian Parker sitting in that deep space, making sure that their disc does not find Spring Chicken hands, generating the turn back. Spring Chicken's quick to re-establish their zone for the first point of this fantastic game. Two layouts by Zodiac. Great bids to try and keep that disc in their hand. It's not enough. Spring Chickens to take possession in the red zone, just outside of their own attacking end zone. Some great handler movement there, really nice cuts, working through, great wide swing for a fantastic score for the first point. Spring Chickens going up over Zodiac by 1. Sarah Kesson, spirit captain for Spring Chickens, making great space on that near sideline for that cut. Great score to start off the game. So as we come into the second point of the game, worth noting that Spring Chickens, the threshold for Masters play at the Masters Games is 30 for women, 33 for men. So some of our Spring Chickens players have significant amount of experience with the disc, experience playing on the field. They're able to use that and a lot of communications to work as efficiently as possible, which I think might have been why we saw that zone defense come down. To work as efficiently as possible, maybe recognizing that the youth of Zodiac is going to give them a disadvantage if they stick to a strict match defense, and relying on that experience to generate the turns and put them in a great position to score. So we are nearly closing out the 5th minute of our match. Just a reminder that Ultimate, we're playing to 15 points. The first team to score 8 will take the half. There's a huge psychological advantage to taking half. A forehand pull, uncommon but not unheard of by Macaulay. We're seeing that same zone again. We've got 2 players from the Spring Chicken sitting in that deep space, generating a quick turn off that first pass. Stolpe streaking deep, looking for an option. Spring Chickens to set up in a vertical stack, targeting the far sideline. A lot of pressure from that Zodiac defense, generating a turn. Very clean Ultimate on display here today. Big fake, trying to shift that defense, trying to open up something. We are in Callahan country. Great turnover there. Huge pressure by that Spring Chickens defensive wall, clogging that space, making those narrow throws through that much more dangerous, particularly as they'd be throwing from inside their own defensive end zone. Targeting that front far corner. Great work there by Spring Chickens to put their second consecutive break on the board. It's all starting to come together, Brooke.
It is. Definitely starting to understand it a bit more, but definitely, yeah, still learning as we go.
So Spring Chickens now going up 2 points over Zodiac in the first match. Great momentum established by the Spring Chicken side. Zodiac needing to put something on the board to reclaim their place in this match. A little bit of last-minute communications. Just some recognition of the conditions, looking to maximize control of that disc. Spring Chickens, on the other hand, another defensive point for them. Team's just making sure they've got their defensive and offensive strategies respectively all sorted out. We're seeing the not quite the signal for readiness. Last-minute communications. There's the signal to initiate the third point of the game. Spring Chickens 2 over Zodiac's 0.
So would you say that the Spring Chickens right now have an advantage with 1 point over the Zodiacs?
2 points over the Zodiacs.
Points? Okay.
They've made some really great initial momentum, really pressuring that defense, generating those turns and closing out those points. So things are currently in their favor. That's going to heat the blood a little bit. It's going to get them excited. It's going to get them warmed up. They're going to start playing harder, maybe a little bit more aggressively. And we'll see whether or not that plays into their favor or not. That aggressive defense can generate those turns. But when met with empty space, anger tends to defeat itself. But a great turn there as they're throwing into the wind towards that near sideline. There's just a little bit of wind underneath. Adds some bobble to the disc, makes it that much harder to catch. Zodiac on the back foot, now on defense. Kavisha Chandran to set up the mark. Alison Scarlett to handle, sends a shot high, a lot of float, pushed around in the wind. Doesn't find its intended receiver. The big hammer fake. Nice wide swing to the near sideline, but not enough touch on that one. We're going to come in right in the danger zone, only a few meters out from a score. Again, third in a row for Spring Chickens if they're able to close it out. Scarlett to handle. Great cut there. Excellent reception. Just fantastic initiation isolation cut from that end zone. The wind's starting to pick up as Spring Chickens go up 1 more point, 3-0 against Zodiac at the moment. Now, we've seen performances like this before. Last year's Division 1 Mixed Ultimate Championships in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. We had the Space Invaders against the Exiles going 8 back-to-back breaks to take a perfect half. But Exiles managed to pour it on in the second half and really tighten that game up. Still went Space Invaders' way, but we could be seeing history repeating itself. Zodiac with still a lot of time left in this game to make their mark known, to really pour the pressure onto the Spring Chickens. Another forehand pull. Makes it about 2/3, 3/4 of the way up the field. That same zone defense again. How are the Zodiac going to handle it? Siahani Royal establishing that chase. Really applying that pressure. Lets one slip, allows the disc to go backwards and continue swinging, but huge amount of wind. Perfect grab there to keep that one in possession by Zoe. A nice jumped in score to put Zodiac on the board, just the exact point they needed. Are we going to get to see that again? Up and over, right on the zone, not quite in. And a great, just a great little pop pass to pop that one through. De Ruyter with the assist there. Beautiful first point for Zodiac, putting them on the board. They'll come down on defense now. Now, we've talked a little bit already about how the Spring Chickens keep firing down that zone, maybe because with that bit of age comes a bit more sort of conservative approach to the hard hustle of Frisbee. Zodiac being a younger team, do you think they'll come down in a match defense, or do you think they'll try a zone of their own, considering the amount of wind that we're seeing at the moment?
I think considering the wind, they're going to have to change the way they play anyway, just with these conditions. So essentially, they probably might have a different approach, which could, in fact, put them ahead at some point during the game.
Good insight. All right, so looks like we are seeing a person defense matchup. Spring Chickens targeting that far sideline, so that's the low side of the field. It's where the wind is pushing towards. Great bid there to keep that one alive. Fantastic progress being made up the field by Zodiac, but just that little bit of pressure on the defense from Sarah Robinson generating that turn. Nice cuts through that Spring Chickens defense. Big shot goes up. A lot of edge on it. It's fading back.
That's when that wind's coming back into play.
Absolutely. And a great pressure bid from the Spring Chickens generates that turn, stops Zodiac's keeping hands to disc. Threaded through. Another score for the Spring Chickens, number 10. Just over the hands of Venter on that possession, giving Spring Chickens a great opportunity to thread one through. A laser beam. So Spring Chickens now 4 points over Zodiac's 1 to come down on defense. A great opening match that we're seeing from both of these sides. Really will come down to who's able to capitalize on those turns better in these trying conditions. Spring Chickens again, big forehand pull, but a lot of turnover early. Might get a bit of roll, give them a bit of free territory. Carried out over the low side, that far sideline.
The wind is just starting to pick up again, which is unfortunate.
Even the stadium is shaking with excitement. And so just making sure they clarify where the disc first left the playing area, as that establishes the initial point where it can be brought back in. That's a great defensive move there from Spring Chickens as they set up that zone. And just trying to swing that disc, move it across laterally across the field into the wind. It's proving a little bit tough. Megan Duffy once again on the mark. Crystal Linky now, targeting that far sideline. Just a nice string of open side passes. Great offense there strung together by Spring Chickens. We'll see that again. Lightborn with a great score. Spring Chicken going up 5 over Zodiac's 1. And it really does highlight the importance of the technical skill development in Ultimate Frisbee. You can be the fittest person in the world, but if you cannot play to the conditions and force your opponent to play against the conditions, your job becomes that much harder. Spring Chicken's playing a really smart game of Ultimate here as we open our 3-day tournament. So one more defensive point ahead of them. Zodiac have shown that they can score, they can run. There's no signs of fatigue on the field at the moment. So either both sides are incredibly fit or incredibly good at keeping their composure. Signal of readiness given from Zodiac. Great pull again. Now Zodiac having to work that disc up through that zone. Looks like a call may have been made. Nope, no call. So a reminder that Ultimate is a self-officiated sport. There are no referees. Players take it upon themselves to learn the rules, make their own calls, and resolve those through discussion. Kavisha Chandran on the mark, but the disc gets threaded through anyway. Excellent reception there by the Spring Chickens, number 3. Great clearing cut and just good find there. Spring Chickens now 6 points to Zodiac's 1. Looking to be walking away with it at the moment, only 2 points away from taking the first half of the first game. There is a huge psychological advantage to being the team that takes the first half. You have led the first half of the game, you've generated turns on defense, you've managed to score on offense, and you've put away the first 8 points of the game. It's a great position there psychologically to know that you've done that. You come out firing. You have less defeat in your heart moving into the second half. Looks like a timeout was called. So players just having a brief discussion after those points to figure out what is working, what's going right, what's going wrong. What do you think they're talking about at the moment, Brooke?
Honestly, not too sure. I think Zodiac might be discussing their new plan, maybe to be a bit more tactical. Just with those overhead throws at the moment, they're not going exactly to plan, just with these conditions, with the wind. So we never know, we might see some more short passes rather than those overheads.
Absolutely. So we're seeing that zone work really well. And I think you're right. In conditions like these, those long options become that much harder to execute. 5-10 meter passes, being able to string those together. We saw that on that last point from Spring Chickens, that perfect offense in that far sideline. It was just continuation throw after continuation throw. Really excellent disc movement for a clean score for them. Zodiac need to answer with something of their own. Yeah, for sure. Probably something in the same vein. Lee, Parker, Ing. Some Zodiac old hands to take the field. Likewise, we're seeing McCauley, Stolpe, Linky. Some great names in Ultimate Frisbee, particularly in the New Zealand scene. Some names very familiar to some of you watching at home. There's the signal of readiness given from Zodiac. Responded to by the Spring Chickens as they look to initiate another point coming down on defense. Some great pressure that we're seeing. What is it going to take for that pressure to break? Nice high pull. Exactly what Spring Chickens want as they come down once more in that zone defense. Big shot goes up. Great read by the defense, able to quickly turn. Spring Chickens now targeting the right-hand side of your screen. Lightborn to Linky. Fakes trying to shift the mark, nothing developing. Goes over the top. Great pressure, great coverage on that defense from Eng. Just enough to generate an option that wasn't going anywhere. Zodiac now back on offense. Stolpe putting those big wings up on the mark. The disc now going back the other way. As we enter the 13th minute of our match. 23rd, rather. Great defense there, again targeting that far sideline where the wind is making the disc go. You have to add a little bit of edge to control its movement. But we're able to get a read on that for Zodiac, shifting it back downfield. Great footwork there by Lee. Smart play by Zodiac, recognizing that there are a few ways to break a zone. A great bid to try and keep it alive, but it tips just off the Spring Chickens defense. Sends the blade up. Nice. Great defense by Zodiac. So again, Brooke, you were saying earlier that maybe they need to start focusing on some shorter throws. Those ones over the top not working as well.
No, and they're still not. I think they've definitely got the Zodiac have definitely got more of a tactical mindset this time around. We'll just see if they keep that up.
Excellent. That's what we're looking to see, those same initial short 5-10 meter passes, trying to work the disc up the field, using the height to work over the zone. A great shot goes up, received by Eng. Somebody free in the zone. Double coverage now, shutting down that cut. Iris Lee now swinging the disc to the far sideline, just trying to keep the stall count low. So a reminder, a player in possession of the disc is only able to hold it for about 10 seconds as counted by the opposition, similar to shot clock at basketball. A ground strip, two layouts. Linky and Eng trying to defend and score that point respectively. See that again. Came in a bit low. Didn't quite get control of it. So Spring Chickens now on that far sideline in a dangerous corner for them. Attempted it up the line cut, pressured too much by the defense. So Zodiac in a great position to put their second point on the board. A high shot. Eng's got a read on it. But Linky's got a better one. Again, great defensive positioning there. Managed to box out Eng initially. Zodiac to take possession. It looked like it could have been anybody's disc. Contact. So we're seeing a foul being called. So as number 44 for Zodiac went up, Annalie Tai went up for that disc. There was contact on the defense, which explained the bobble. And the signal being given that it's uncontested. So players have agreed that the foul had an impact. So Zodiac will keep possession. Annalie Tai with the disc. Immediately dumps back. Resetting the disc, sends a high shot up. But it goes to ground. One more time. Zodiac targeting that far sideline. Stolpe making great cuts to get position. Separation in the zone. A lot of separation. But an upwind throw goes to ground. That is one of the perils, trying to keep the disc low in the wind. Throwing upwind, you want to throw low as the wind will push it up. But if you're too low, it generates a turn, giving Zodiac another opportunity to work back upfield. Excellent bid by Hahoff as a captain, trying to do the work for the team. Great defense. A little bit of a tumble, but there's no call being made. It's called clean. Lillian Parker putting body on the line. Some great athletic plays there from both sides. Zodiac setting up. In a kind of varied stack, maybe a split stack. Shifting back towards something a bit more flow-based, a bit more organic, maybe not relying on some of those traditional, conventional offensive structures as they try and work around that zone. Ing with a great reception as they thread through the wall. Again, just those high options being taken away in the wind, generating those turns and allowing Spring Chickens an opportunity to go 7-1 over Zodiac. It's not over yet. One more time, laser beam to Stolpe in the end zone. Fantastic score. We spoke to her earlier at the beginning of the game, and she said that all she was going to do was run and catch. And she seems to be making good on that promise. Some fantastic, great positioning, fantastic separation. We'll see that again, dead flat to an open receiver. That's why she's needing to wear 2 gloves. Spring Chickens now 7 up over Zodiac's 1. 30 minutes into the game. Spring Chickens 1 point away from taking half. Zodiac under a lot of pressure here, but we have seen teams come back from wider deficits than this. Camila Silva with her game face on. Blue cleats for speed. Great pull there from the Spring Chickens. Nice opportunity for them to establish that zone early. Excellent zone breaking there. Sends a big shot up. Camila Silva. She could get there.
Impressive throw nonetheless.
And great chase there by the southpaw from South America. Que jugadora. Now we're seeing Zodiac return with a zone of their own. It does the job. We're in the red zone. Scoring opportunity here for Zodiac. They know how to work the disc. They know how to get that separation. This is what we came to see. There's some fantastic women's ultimate on display. Contact on the disc, so they'll just resolve that. The stall count will drop. Deekma on the mark. Great chase there. Really trying to tighten that window. A cheeky hammer attempt. Not able to generate the score. A wobbly disc goes to ground. Slight territorial gain there for the Spring Chickens as Zodiac work back up the field. And that is the tough thing when you are working against a zone like that. You want to go over the top. And particularly when you're that close to the end zone, it can be the hardest thing in the world to choose between the cheese or cunningly flinging a disc through that zone. Great reception there. The continuation, there it is. Camilla Silva putting a point on the board. Una mujer de Colombia. Fantastic performance there. That's exactly what we were hoping to see. Some great clinical work of the disc. Just short, controlled passes.
Yeah, for sure.
And despite the double coverage, there it is. Fantastic patience by Al. Zodiac 2, Spring Chicken 7. Despite the defensive pressure that we are seeing from the Spring Chicken side, it is not enough to dampen the fire in the hearts of the Zodiac players as they put a second point on the board, proving to the Spring Chickens that they are not out of this game just yet. Great flat pull by the Zodiac. Touchdown with a little bit of edge. Nice roll. Perfect pull there by Zodiac, giving them plenty of time to get in position and shut down the Spring Chickens offense. Pressure again from the Zodiac side. Not content with 2 points on the board, they want 3. Targeting that far sideline. Just really clean, concise play. A lot of pressure. Looks like Spring Chickens have gone back to a person defense, so maybe as they've broken through that zone a couple of times, Spring Chickens are having to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
So a foul was called, and the signal was given that it's uncontested. Or possibly. Which means Zodiac will take possession. A great opportunity for them just a little bit further than halfway. The wind picking up. We can hear it here in the booth. Great swing, a little on the high side. Fantastic read there by the Spring Chickens. Linky sends the big shot. Fantastic performance. Zodiac getting in position, getting a tip. Alice Stolpe puts body on the line. We're going to see that again. Linky fires the howitzer. Great read there by Venter, but those gloves have come in handy. Stolpe putting another point on the game as the Spring Chickens take half. The score is currently Spring Chickens 8 over Zodiac 2 as we conclude the first half of the first game of this, the 2021 New Zealand Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe.
My name is Brett McAlavey.
And we will be back with you shortly.
Perfect, and we're back to the first game of the first day of the 2021 Championships. We've got the Spring Chickens and Zodiac. Currently the score is roughly 8-2 the Spring Chickens and 2 to Zodiac.
My name is Blair Monroe.
My name is Brooke McAlavey.
And we are your eyes and ears on the ground as we kick off the fantastic, the impossible New Zealand Ultimate Championships here at Puna in beautiful Christchurch. Very, very fortunate to be one of the countries able to play Ultimate at the moment. Thanks very much to Auntie Jacinda and Daddy Ashley. Our team of 5 million at home for allowing our teams of 7 at a time to take the field as Zodiac come down on defense against the aggressive, the impressive Spring Chickens. Great pull. Bobbles a little bit in the wind, so what are our conditions looking like, Brooke?
It's quite windy. We've got about 15 kilometres an hour at the moment, which is making it hard for those overhead passes. Wind's picking up on them, taking them far away, so yeah.
And despite that wind, Zodiac come out firing from that first half to put a point on the board. Some clean, clinical Ultimate. Now, we were talking during the half-time about the importance of that wind and what kind of passes you need to be able to play through it. And we'll see it again here. Just comfortable, low, short passes for a great score by Zodiac. They will be proud of that one. Juju pulling that one down, keeping Zodiac in the game. A great start to the second half.
Definitely. What we noticed in that first half is that those short tactical passes were a lot more successful at getting that frisbee down the field rather than those overhead long ones. So hopefully we're going to see a bit more of that this half.
Absolutely. Now, Zodiac working against a very, very pressurized zone that we're seeing quite often. 4 players in the cup from that Spring Chickens defense, but oh, Siahani Royals tries to stop the roll, misses slightly. Zodiac now playing in a zone of their own. Good, comfortable disc movement there by the Spring Chickens. A low release targeting the far sideline. Great pressure there by number 4. Hannah O, great defense there, generating a turn for Zodiac, giving them a fantastic opportunity to bring it back. A closer game still. Slow approach to the disc, giving everyone an opportunity to catch their breath. We can see the Zodiac side setting up in a nice vertical stack there as the Spring Chickens return to a person defense. Just a little bit much pressure on that chase down, generating a turn for them. High forehand, but it's kept alive by Lightborn. Looking to close it out, forced to go backwards instead. Signaling at the back of the zone, a big hand up, player saying, I'm free, give me the disc. But we find it instead on the far sideline. A great cut moving across Deekba. Beautiful score for Spring Chickens, answering Zodiac's first point of the half with one of their own as they go 9-3 over Zodiac's side. And we'll see that again, a big fake, trying to shift that defense, something opening up. Scarlett to handle. Targets far sideline. Very quick continuation, so bouncing the disc off Captain almost to find Deekma in the end zone for the score. And one more time, Spring Chickens with an opportunity to come down on defense. We've seen them run a lot of person defense, but that seems to be a function of Zodiac initiating an offense off a turn. A zone defense only really works when you've got all 7 players very aware of what they have to do. So trying to set one of those up quickly after a transition like that can be a bit difficult. So using that as an opportunity for Zodiac to really use their fitness and athleticism, considering that despite the impressive speed of players like Stolpe on the Spring Chickens line, they can maybe use that sort of youth and freshness a little bit to try and pick the pace of the game up. Very tight, close ultimate that we're seeing here from Zodiac. Very, very short passes, very close handlers, not a huge amount of movement, but the zone itself is quite static as well.
It seems as though both teams have changed their approach this half with those shorter passes rather than those overheads as well. So definitely a tighter game, tighter match.
A great bid there on a questionable pass, but Spring Chickens quickly reset that, re-establish the momentum. Stolpe in great position, has to go up because of the great coverage and pressure from Zodiac, but it's not enough. Zodiac with a long, slow march back towards glory as they come out on offense in the very front of their own defensive end zone. Firing the disc back, the zone getting established early. An opportunity here for Spring Chickens. High shot goes up. Comes back down, very, very close to the zone here. Scoring distance for the throwing experience on display by the Spring Chickens. There it is. A great static layout to keep that disc in Zodiac hands off the turn. Shot over the top. Just a little bit overthrown, receiver not able to get to it. Kamira Chandran on the mark. Once more time, targeting that far sideline. Using those short controlled passes. Great coverage from the Zodiac, stopping things evolving. But jumped in for a fantastic score there by Spring Chickens.
Spring Chickens definitely don't seem at a disadvantage despite their missing players today at all. So that is definitely a good sign.
Absolutely, and we're going to see this now, waiting for a cut to open up. It's number 8, Macaulay. Big fake, throws in the shimmy, gets a bite from the defender, jumps the score in. 10-3. Spring Chickens one more time to come out on defense. And a spiker. Ing, Parker. Some old hands in Auckland women's ultimate here. Some very, very, very slightly older hands coming down on their opposition. Very slightly. Great pull there by Spring Chickens, pushing Zodiac back into their end zone. One wrong move puts a point on the board. They go over the top. And keeps it away from the grass. An absolute life-saving throw and catch, laser flat over the top, and gets it. Huge separation in the end zone, but the trouble is with the wind and with that zone, it really pours on the defensive pressure. Zodiac pinned down on the far sideline, hoping to look back to reset to move around the zone, having to go over the top. Pressure from Spring Chickens, a late bid by Zodiac. Turn is generated, Ing on the mark. Somebody wants to put something big up. Swings instead, continues around just outside of the receiver's reach. Spiker threads the needle. Has two receivers in space. A little bit of miscommunication. Neither of them able to get there. Great initiation cut there by the Spring Chickens. But a ground strip. Siahani Royal putting in some fantastic athleticism there. We saw her play for MVP during the Mixed Nationals Division 1 last year. great initiation movement there, fantastic and explosive acceleration, but they're just coming in a little bit low, made things just that much harder. Hahoff puts one over the top. Spring Chickens now coming out on offense. Coming out of a vertical stack. A scuba over the top, a questionable option. Hahoff says not today. Sends one up, a little bit of edge. Again, just finding grass before fingertips. Quick initiation, a great bid by Parker. Hansberger streaking deep. Has the separation, but covered towards the end of the cut by Ing. There it is! Evelyn Hansberger nearly gets it. Just about to eat that one for breakfast like avocados on toast. A little bit of a collision, but great spirit on display. Zodiac threading back through the zone. Parker near sideline. Goes over the top. Beautiful shot there for De Ruyter. Spiker continues forwards. Great grabs. Excellent work by Zodiac. Those short disc movements that we've seen them use to gain upfield territory. Spiker to Parker, near sideline, looking to close it off. A lot of pressure working through the zone, but oh, what defensive positioning. What a great read there. Just as Zodiac about to finish that one off, a defender appears out of nowhere, gets possession, calls a timeout. So both teams will huddle. A veteran call there to call timeout then. With a long field ahead of them to work back down, it's a great opportunity for the team to just take a breath, compose themselves, because one of the worst things that you can do is to be in that position while the rest of your team is still focused on defense and try and initiate an offense when players aren't ready for it, because that'll generate a turnover that's so close to the end zone that makes it very, very easy for your opposition to capitalize and close out the point. So how are you feeling about this game so far, Brooke?
It's honestly quite an interesting game, if I'm honest. I think the wind is just making it a wild, you know, unpredictable game.
So we're coming to about 36 and a half minutes left on the clock. We're still looking at a game to 15 with the amount of early points generated by the Spring Chickens. It looked like it was going to be a bit of a walk away, but Zodiac have really fired up in the second half. They've put points on the board of their own. They're really slowing down the Spring Chickens offense as well, which I think is something they should definitely be proud of. And so we might very well see this game go all the way through to the soft cap. So if we do hit that soft cap, if our 36 minutes on the timer on screen at the moment runs out, we'll conclude the point being played, add 1 to the highest score, and play to that score. So all things going well, Zodiac could still walk this game away to a victory, even once that 36 minutes has finished up. So we're seeing Spring Chickens now in establishing a vertical stack. So 2 players back in that handler space right on the edge of their zone. And then 5 players in the middle of the field looking to create big throwing lanes and running channels on the far and near side of our screen. Great pressure from the Zodiac defense. Parker covering Lightburn. Spiker wanting to finish one off. Puts it through. Ing right on the doorstep. Decides knocking might be a little bit too loud. Spiker again, pressured by the zone. Parker with some big fakes. A big high swing. A great option. The zone's out of position. They follow it off and pull it down. Great score there by Zodiac. Great vision. 2 passes ago. We're going to see that one more time. Spiker pressured by the zone. Big fakes. Moves in and out of position, just working through that zone. Harhoff's there. Spiker finds her. Forehand in the wind. Brought down by Chloe de Ruyter. Great work there by the Zodiac side. 4 points to Spring Chickens 10. So some great ultimate on display here today by both of these sides. We see the signal for readiness from both teams. The pull goes up from Zodiac to initiate the next point of the game. Big, huge chase from Zodiac defense, stopping that first pass as Linky looks to field the disc on that far sideline. A big shot goes up. Kept in bounds. Options there to close it out. We see Diekma streaking into the end zone. Great open space. Nothing develops. Too much pressure from the Zodiac side. Forces the disc to go back and around. Those cuts having to reset to that stack.
Got some nice pressure from Zodiac.
So close to the end zone. Spring Chickens can almost taste it. Linky, big fake to get a bite. Able to chip through those short 2-3 meter passes. Moving the disc around to open something up. Macaulay puts one into space. And it finds the ground. Great vision, seeing that space, knowing that your player can take a few meters to gain some ground. A little bit of miscommunication. Gives the disc back to Zodiac. Little bobble in the wind, making the disc a little bit harder to catch. Spring Chickens now on offense. Joju, number 8. Getting ready to apply that defensive pressure that's seen Zodiac generate a few turns. Linky with a great up the line cut, not pressured enough by Zodiac, able to get the disc. Now the pressure pours on, forces it back. But as the zone follows that quick disc movement, starting to create those holes that Spring Chicken are able to exploit using their experience and wisdom. Some very tactical ultimate. Finds a breakthrow under the arm of the defender. Macaulay, we've seen some great handling from her. Puts one back to the far sideline. There it is.
Despite that pressure, Spring Chickens have managed.
See again. Kessens finding an open space in that zone, seeing that throw go off, recognizing something's about to happen. You can feel the heat on the field. Over the top, there it is. That's the one, finding that bite in the defense, recognizing a defender's maybe a little bit out of position. 11-4. One more time, Zodiac to come down on offense. Great pull, a lot of edge. It's going to touch down early and get a roll on it. But it went out of bounds, so the disc can either be brought in where it left the playing field, or if a brick signal is given, brought in about halfway across the width of the field and 18 meters in front of the end zone. So that looks to be what the option that Zodiac will take. So it centers the disc, and particularly in situations like this, to be trapped on that far sideline when that's the direction the wind is going for your first pass of the point is a difficult thing. So there's a very, very great option there to brick. We're seeing Parker and Hahoff working the disc initially. Just those two players working backwards and forwards, trying to shift the zone. Hansberger, great pressure on that mark. Parker, Ing, Hahoff chipping through that zone. The three of them just working in perfect synchronicity. Great disc movement there. Big shoulder shimmies, trying to create an option, trying to widen up some of these channels. Great bid by Spring Chickens, not enough. Megan Duffy there. Great work by Zodiac to work it up that far, but a little bit of miscommunication on that throw gives Spring Chickens another opportunity. 11-4, a little less than half hour in the game. Shot goes over the top, but it's got just enough float in that wind to run onto it. A great last-minute bid, but just not enough. We're going to get to see that again. These are the kind of plays that make Ultimate worth it. Great chase there. Scarlett and Kessens both going for it. Zodiac in their own zone. A lot of pressure here from Spring Chickens, having to go over the top, but Ing keeps it. Sends one up the far sideline to Megan Duffy. One of my absolute favorite players in the women's division. Great tip off the fingers by the defense. Zodiac not able to keep that one alive. Kessens, a little bit of bend on that disc, but it's kept in Spring Chicken's hands. Lots of work up that sideline. Megan Duffy again, a defensive powerhouse. What a fantastic player. Look at the smile on that face. Zodiac targeting the far sideline. High shot goes up. Spring Chickens want to get underneath it. Manage it. A quick turn on possession. Hahoff applying just enough pressure to stop that big huck going up. Edge on that disc. Generates that turn. So Hahoff to initiate the offense. We see Iris Lee going deep. Not covered very tightly. Now a nice undercut on that far sideline. Giving a great option for her teammates. Nothing's developing. So they go over the top of the zone one more time. Minor execution on that error. Hahoff not able to get to it. Spring Chickens just in front of halfway to initiate their offense. Wind starting to pick up again. Annalie Ty on the mark. Scarlett to handle for the Spring Chickens. Captain now, marked up by Ing. Great disc movement there. Kessens. Fantastic pressure by Parker. Able to generate a turn, putting in some fantastic work for Zodiac here. We'll see that again. Off that next throw, Parker finding position. And just that great cut across. Just enough to force number 14 for the Spring Chickens to take her eye off the disc. Half a second. We see the zone swapping up. So rather than forcing towards that low side, the far sideline where the wind is carrying it, They're now forcing towards the near sideline, forcing our Zodiac players to move into the wind. It's a great tactical change. Again, Megan Duffy receives a nice high forehand with a lot of edge. Manages to get that one. A difficult throw to make at the best of times into the wind, showing the bottom of the disc to the wind to try and curve it back infield. A difficult throw, but great reception, great execution on that one now. Ty once again on the mark, Scarlett to handle. Sends the big shot up, a lot of edge. It's not going to make it. Great separation there by Hunsberger into the zone, but the throw wasn't going to find her. Great disc movement by Zodiac, not relying on those over-the-top shots, but one goes high anyway. Huge pressure from Stolpe to get the defense. Oh, not Stolpe, sorry. Stolpe's on the sideline. So another timeout's been called. So once again, we're seeing that same sort of veteran wisdom, recognizing it's been a long point so far. Let's give ourselves an opportunity to get our breaths back, to get some composure. So what are your thoughts on the Zodiac offense so far?
They are putting a lot of pressure on the Spring Chickens, I feel. Definitely what we have noticed with that whole first half as well, and what we've seen in this half as well, are those short lower passes are working a lot more successfully. So their defence, I think, is, you know, getting better. They are putting that pressure in, but I feel as though they should probably stick to those lower, more tactical, shorter passes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing them make great progress up the field, and I wonder if it is a case of just that youth on that side, giving them a bit of end zone fever. They get just too close to the end zone and maybe force options that they don't need to. Whereas the Spring Chickens maybe a little bit more experience in handling that pressure, and that's why they're able to close out as many points as they have. Either way, both teams really giving it everything in this game. It's fantastic to see. There are a few difficult games in any given tournament. I think the first game is always a tough one because you haven't warmed up, you haven't refamiliarized yourself with the sport, you haven't found your rhythm, particularly when a couple of players are picking up for you that you might not have had the opportunity to train with in the same way.
Yeah.
To sort of relearn how fast everyone is, to relearn what your rhythm is as a team. So it's a really, really tough game, and it's really nice to see both these teams remaining high-spirited, keeping that energy up, and just doing just a fantastic job of putting on the best ultimate in the world at the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Both teams, despite Zodiac being down a few points, they definitely are keeping high in spirits and not letting that stop them and their defence and effort with the whole game in general.
Absolutely. So Spring Chickens now to come out on offense. They are very, very close to their own defensive end zone. Annalie Tai one more time on the mark. She's applied huge amounts of pressure on defense. And this could be an opportunity for Zodiac to generate a turn. Big shift on the mark, but they get the reset away. Ing slightly overcommitting. Manages to get it back. Half again, great pressure. Still able to target that far sideline. Great work by Zodiac, arresting the movement of the Spring Chickens. They thread one up anyway. And a backhand goes over the top. We see a cheeky duck. Kessens goes for the bid, but a lot of pressure from Parker. Means that one is a missed connection. With 20 minutes left on the clock, Spring Chickens currently 4 points away from victory. Zodiac unwilling to let them go to point cap. Spring Chickens coming down in that zone defense that we've seen them use incredibly successfully this morning. We're seeing a lot of fakes, trying to go over the top of the zone. Looks like contact may have been made on that attempt at reception. And so they'll have that conversation. So the foul has been retracted. Spring Chickens will retain possession on the far sideline. Scarlett to handle marked by Ty. Great point on the board again. Spring Chickens going to 12 over Zodiac 4.
Now the wind is starting to pick up again, so it will be interesting to see if they swap their approach right now. There's a few overheads that are being thrown, and they have been successful while that wind has died down for a bit, but interesting now that it's starting to pick up.
Absolutely, those conditions are changeable, and I think that's one of the dangers, that you've got these players who know how to play in wind. They know how to play when there's no wind. And it's having that awareness to keep focus of everything on the field, where your defender is, where the rest of your teammates are, where the disc is, where the sidelines are, what direction we're moving in, where are we trying to make our opposition throw, where are we trying to stop our opposition run, trying to keep track of all that and still feel what the wind is doing and how that has to dictate your offense, your defense, what your options are.
Definitely.
There's so much to juggle. There's no sport like it that I think is affected to such a strong degree by wind, except possibly the America's Cup.
That definitely could be one.
which we won, so well done us. A big pull by the Spring Chickens. One more time, the Spring Chickens, that zone that's seen them generate a lot of turns and close out those points. There it is, the laser beam.
Just unlucky there.
A cruel disc there. Not a lot of kindness on it, makes it that much harder to catch. Would have been a great point for Zodiac. We could see Camilla Silva in open space, ready to follow up. That zone, it's a great opportunity for Zodiac to overload that zone when they can. They've got one player sitting deep, Spring Chickens, on defense. And so having two players deep means that neither of them can be covered at the same time. That's the kind of position that you want to find yourself in on offense against a zone like that. Great pressure there, and you can see two players streaking deep. Great option. Big chase. Not quite going to get there. But one more time, right? We saw two players moving into that deep space, knowing that the structure of the Spring Chicken zone is only one player in that deep. So having two players run for it, neither of them can be covered like at the same time. So just fantastic offensive vision there by Zodiac. Just not able to get that work through to connect. Good fakes by Spring Chicken, looking to move the disc up. Very blady forehand, but it's enough. We find Macaulay near sideline. Moving the disc back up and over the top. Snapped up by Robinson. Stolpe setting the mark now for the Zodiac defense. Great movement there. Siahani Royal not able to get it. A cold drop. Great form, great position, great space. The offense did everything right, but those little execution errors at the end, we'll see that again. A perfect throw. Great position. Zodiac with a defense of their own, throwing down a zone, hoping to generate another turn, another opportunity to close out the point that they earned. There it is, Siahani Royal drops the reset. There it is, up and over the top. Camilla Silva going to have it run out the back. Had this been any other sport, that would have added 2 points to the board.
Got just under 15 minutes to go. Spring Chicken sitting at 12, 3 more to go.
So 3 points away from winning their first game, potentially. An 11-point lead, or in this case an 8-point lead. We've seen them won and lost before on better days. The wind acting as our 8th defender. Siahani Royal, far sideline. Able to keep moving. We can see Stolpe got a lot of separation. Maybe too much to play in this wind. Macaulay, big fake. Hoping to initiate something downfield. But that zone defense putting a lot of pressure on, forcing those long passes to be just lower and lower in terms of percentage of success. Siahani Royal with a quick continuation, but it is run through by Robinson. Great defense there. This is what Frisbee is all about. Those tight games, those nail biters, those long points that just mean both teams are playing great defense. The feeling of your lungs just burning as you run down a long disc. Great interception there by the Spring Chickens. Sends the high forehand. Stolpe in great space, but double coverage. The Zodiac defense able to close the gap and close down that window. I'm glad to see that the Zodiac have changed up their defense a little bit. There's a saying in Ultimate Frisbee, Brooke, you should never lose a game without throwing down a zone. Great reception by Silva, the South American southpaw. Pinned down a little bit, but able to work back and around the zone. Alice Logan, center field. Fakes the hammer. Quick resets. Unable to pull that one off. Spring Chickens, 20 meters or so outside from their own end zone, maybe 25. They've got the throws to close that distance, maybe not in this wind. They send one up anyway. Huge bid by the Zodiac defense. Going up for it, just applying that pressure, maybe making the Spring Chickens receiver just give up on that disc a little bit. And sometimes that's all you need. Siahani Royal looking to close out the point. Manages it. A great backhand up that far sideline. As we have 11.5 minutes left on the clock, Spring Chickens now 13 over Zodiac's 4. We'll see that again. Big fake pulls the zone out of position. Threads one right through. Fantastic work there by the Spring Chickens, who will come out on defense one more time. Still seeing some cheeky smiles from the Zodiac line, some good spirits and good laughter. And really, that's what Ultimate is about. The sport itself, as wonderful it is, in isolation is a bit ridiculous. 7 people on 2 teams chasing 175 grams of plastic around a field. But I think you would be hard-pressed to find any sport that any of the players on the field at the moment love doing more. As I always say, if you've never played Ultimate, go down to the warehouse, the red shed, buy yourself a cheap disc, find some friends, go down to a park and see what kind of fun you can have. And in a year's time, we will see you on our stream. Zodiac making great work up that far sideline. Nice, clean continuations. Parker Diekma applying huge pressure on that chase, that essential point on the mark. Zoe with the disc now. Pushing through to Hahoff. Spiker, sorry. Once again, throwing into the wind. It gets a lot of height under it. Zoe keeps it. And that's what we're seeing there. Those 3-4 meter passes, just real clean pop discs, just lifted up, allowing the wind to move them. Spiker throws into space for De Ruyter to run onto, but the defense is already there in position. So those little throws that we're seeing that are having the greatest success, again, trying to put too much into it on that far sideline. The forehand goes up, the wind catches it, pushes it down to the ground. Great bid by Zoe, but it's not enough. It's again, as the wind picks up, the throws get that much more difficult.
Definitely had the right idea going low though, rather than high.
Absolutely, just trying to keep it in position. Those high discs, they get picked up by the wind and they get taken. There it is, the big shot. Great running there by Spring Chickens. You can see it picking up pace towards the end of the cut, but the disc just that little bit far ahead. Excellent foot speed by Diekma. We'll see it again. Look at that acceleration. Managing to close it on the disc, but not quite enough. Still smiling. Spiker and Parker. One more time over the top of the zone.
Pressure there. Absolutely.
Lenky getting into it.
There's that example of the wind.
Great patience by Spring Chickens for a comfortable score. Scarlett, who we've typically seen in that handler space, picking up the disc, initiating the offense for the Spring Chickens, deciding to make herself, her presence known downfield. And we'll see that again here. Disc goes up, it's kept. Back targeting the far sideline to Lenky. Scarlett open. Great cut. Separation from Chandran, just enough to put her on the board. Spring Chickens come down on defense 13-4. 2 points away from victory. A little less than 10 minutes left in the game. 14-4, sorry.
10-point advantage, not bad, 5 minutes to go.
Absolutely. So, Spring Chickens in a great position, hoping to close this one out. We know that their defense can generate turns. But in these conditions, it's capitalizing, it's converting that turn into a score that both teams seem to be struggling a lot with. So hopefully as the day warms up, we might see the wind settle down a little bit less movement as the general area starts to equilibrate in temperature. Pull just further than halfway, so just in front of us here in the booth. Parker to initiate. Hahoff and Spiker in that handler space, sending a forehand up. Megan Duffy, unstoppable. Only 2 or 3 passes away from success. There it is! Oh, Kim's got to be proud of that back home. Well done, Duffy. Our English angel finds herself open in that end zone. We'll see it again. A highlight reel for the ages. Great work by Zodiac there. A nice forehand. Great score. Zodiac going to 5 points. Slowly narrowing the window. 14-5. Spring Chickens to come out on offense. So this is it. Game to 15. Spring Chickens to come out on offense now. Zodiac, everything on the line. 10 back-to-back defensive breaks is what they need to walk away with a win. A great pull, a lot of roll, works the downfield. A laser beam straight through the defense.
They seem to be working with the wind.
Managing to keep that alive. We're seeing a bit of an arrowhead zone, so one player on that chase on the zone, and then the other two sort of back from there and then back from there, trying to force it towards one of the sidelines. Great offense by Spring Chickens to work around that pressure though. Scarlett sends it to an open receiver, but the wind! Oh my goodness, we have ourselves a game. It's exactly what the Zodiac defense wanted. We'll see that again. Look at this. Scarlett to receive. Sends one. Stolpe in perfect position to close out the game. Exactly what she wanted. Not covered at all. But the wind, you can see the kind of interference that this has, despite the best field awareness, despite the athleticism, despite the fitness. It is something that every team has to contend with. And so Spring Chickens now to come out on defense. That same cup, really tight now, trying to focus it. A high shot goes up. Contact was made, so a foul's been called. Coombridge. Looks like it was made on the throw, so the throw will go back. Cheeky little bit of dancing, making sure everyone's in great spirits. So as there was contact made on the throw and it was uncontested, the throw returns to the thrower in this instance. Players need to return to where they were when the foul was called. So there's no gain of position over your defense or over your offender player. Players return to where they were and then the play will be initiated again. The disc being checked in, the stall count starts. Logan being pressured. Still managing to work the disc. A big backhand. Interception.
With a minute to go as well, Spring Chickens on 14. Are they able to make that last point?
Great run through defense there. Excellent work. Priscilla Yu, fantastic work by the tiny dynamo. Just great run through defense. Initiates the offense there. It's kept alive. Zodiac keep moving the disc upfield. Working with Logan. This is exactly what we want to see. Some great pressure from Zodiac and unwillingness to give up despite a large score margin between them. Still hungry for it, still wanting every single point to last and last and last, getting a fingertip to it. It's not quite enough. Those upwind throws really proving to be a struggle for both of these teams. Looks to be a discussion on the field as to whether or not there may have been contact on the throw, which may have caused that interference. So just a reminder again, Ultimate is a self-officiated sport. We do not have referees. players have to learn the rules themselves and be willing to have those conversations with each other to resolve calls that get made. We haven't seen many calls in this game. It's been very, very clean. It's a fantastic thing, particularly for youth ultimate secondary schools, as it teaches players those communication skills and forces them to work together, despite the fact that they're communicating and working with players on an opposing team. So the disc will go back. Stolpe to check the disc in again. Alice Logan. Great put into space, but the wind takes it away. Camilla Silva tries to make a bid for it. Just a little bit much fade on that disc. Spring Chickens now chipping through the Zodiac zone. The zone now back in position, applying their pressure again, but the forehand goes up anyway. Comfortably received. Siahani Royal. There it is. That is the game, ladies and gentlemen. Spring Chickens. Some great continuations despite harrowing conditions, Brooke. They're able to make those short passes, those clean passes. Huge pressure on that defense to go up over the young Zodiac side. 15-5 in the end. We'll see that again. Siahani Royal. Quick backhand and then a huge big chase, getting a lot of separation there for a great score to finish out that game. All of these players should be fantastically proud of themselves for the effort that they've put in, despite the conditions, despite the fact that it's the first time. Big congratulations to Spring Chickens as we close out this, the first game of the first day of the 2021 New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe.
My name is Brooke McAlavey.
It has been an absolute privilege to bring you coverage of this first game, and we will be back with you shortly.